My name is Liza Bernella, and I'm a Customer Success Manager at Cloudamize. Cloudamize is a cloud computing analytics platform that provides detailed analytics and automation to speed and simplify cloud migration planning and execution. The SaaS platform offers both agent-based as well as agentless data collection approaches in order to meet nearly all enterprise needs in different verticals. Cloudamize can also accommodate for both single-tenant as well as multi-tenant architecture needs in all Azure regions. We begin with the Assess module, and here the platform is providing a detailed TCO analysis. Some of the key value drivers are right-sizing, customizing the reports to meet the project needs, and providing granular analytics. We then move into the Plan module, in which Cloudamize will automate application discovery and dependency mapping. This is where the majority of our clients find the most value because it eliminates the traditional manual work when it comes to migrating to the cloud, as well as provides essential data critical to planning a successful migration. The Migrate module allows clients to migrate seamlessly through our integrations with ASR, among others. You can use these integrations to help reduce risks as well as overall accelerate the migration to Azure. In short, we've delivered over 2,000 assessments and worked with Fortune 500 companies, large enterprises such as Jabil, Nielsen, Foot Locker, and more. With over 70,000 nodes deployed, Cloudamize has been able to reduce planning cycles on average of 75%, primarily through that automation, as well as see significant cost savings for our enterprises on average of 48%, primarily through right-sizing and optimization. We will now take a more technical dive into the demo. Here we are with Cloudamize's Assess module, and in this phase, what we do is collect system-level data, so things like CPU, memory, network I/O, disk I/O. Now, what Cloudamize does that's unique at this phase is apply proprietary thresholds and public cloud benchmarks. This is what allows the platform to very accurately project cost and performance into Azure. The data in the charts displayed down below represents the observed data on-premise as well as the predicted data in Azure. Clients can use this data to not only validate and understand the Cloudamize results, but also very quickly identify workloads that you may be able to potentially further optimize. You can drill down into each specific machine and see the data at a more granular level. This allows you to provision more precisely on an ongoing basis. This particular graph is displaying CPU, and as you can see, all of the peaks and valleys are time-stamped. Cloudamize's Designer feature allows you to make changes to the results very quickly within the UI. Some of the changes that you can make are taking advantage of the Azure advantages, such as RI purchases or hybrid benefit use. You can also make your own changes in order to meet the specific needs that are driving this particular project. Here we are in Cloudamize's Plan module. At this stage, we collect application-level data, so things like the executable names, firewall rules, so on and so forth. Now, to the left, you can very quickly identify machines in the environment. To the right, you can identify applications as well as their dependencies. Here, we have a group. Within groups are assets, and assets can be considered as move groups. Within the move groups are machines. The applications to the right represent applications that have some sort of communication happening in the environment. You can filter this by either multiple machines or individual machines. Beyond that, you can very quickly search for a particular machine and identify that in the platform. To the right, again, are the applications that have some sort of communication happening from this particular machine. Here, I can quickly see PHP, which would indicate a web application. Once I select that application, the Cloudamize platform will automatically map out the dependencies that were observed during the data collection period. Furthermore, you can drill down into that specific dependency to understand exactly how the two machines are communicating. So to the right, we'll notice PHP is the process running on the client machine. SQL Server is the process running on the server machine. This indicates that you have a front end of the web application communicating to the back end. What we'll want to do in this case is reconcile these dependencies and build out a logical move group. That's one way that you can create a move group based on these interdependencies. And you can do that very quickly within the Cloudamize platform through this Move Interconnected button. You'll always have the flexibility to add this as something that exists or create something brand new. In this case, we'll create a new group and an asset to label it accordingly. We still have one more step to do because we'll also want to pull in the backend applications. In this case, we'll now add it to the group that we just created, but create another new asset to differentiate the backend from the front end. Now that we've created a 3-tier web application, as you can see in the platform, you can then focus on these particular machines. And you'll notice now the data to the right has changed. Some of the valuable data that Cloudamize will display here are things such as the firewall rules. So here you'll be able to identify inbound, outbound, and UDP rules. If you open up one of these tabs, you'll also be able to identify the process name, the port it communicates over, and the IP address. So this is displaying what needs to be pre-configured from a security standpoint prior to the migration. You can also import a CSV in order to apply tags that may already exist in your environment, or use those tags to create groups. This can be very valuable when working with large environments because you're able to take a CMDB, for instance, and the internal valuable data that exists there, combine that with the data that exists in Cloudamize in order to get a holistic view of your environment and more quickly and swiftly plan the migration. Cloudamize's advanced filtering allows you to drill down into each metric that was collected. You can filter the machine and filter by compute. Here you can see there's many ways to identify machines very quickly. One way that most clients use this is to identify those machines that may need to be upgraded prior to the migration. An example of this would be to filter by either the OS version, another example to filter by would be the SQL version. Our ASR Readiness report will generate a report that will tell you whether or not the workloads can be migrated via ASR as they are today or not. If they cannot be migrated via ASR today, we will point that out, but also provide how easy or difficult it is to make the change that needs to happen. Once you're ready to execute your migration, you can take action directly from the Cloudamize platform. Here, if you choose Migrate Your Environment, select ASR in this specific case. You'll first need to enter your ARM credentials into the Cloudamize platform. Once that is completed, you can then begin the setup and installation on the configured server. After that is finished, you'll select the configured server, pricing design, as well as workloads you would like to migrate. The appropriate machines will populate down below. First, you should always begin with testing. Once you identify that the testing is successfully completed within the Cloudamize platform, you can then execute your migration and directly take action in order to do so. You'll be able to access all of the log files throughout this entire process. Ultimately, this integration will help reduce the migration cycle by 75%. This concludes the Cloudamize portion of today's session.